Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team of eXp Realty. And today I just wanted to spend a couple minutes with you talking about appraisals. And specifically, what do you do when the appraisal that comes in doesn't match your contract sales price? And, in general, there's three options available to a buyer and seller to work this situation out. Number one is the seller will reduce the price to the appraised value. The appraisal is what it is. It came in less than the contract. The bank is going to loan against the appraised value, so the seller reduces the price to the appraised value, number one. Number two, the seller can turn around and say, forget it. My home is worth what it's worth, in my opinion. I'm not budging. I'm digging my heels in. I'm making a stand. Forget it. Buyer, cough up the extra money or the deal's dead. Number three is you negotiate a settlement. It's somewhere in the middle. So it may be if the appraisal came in $10,000 below the contract price, the seller agrees to lower the price $5,000, the buyer agrees to bring in an additional $5,000. Now, much of which of those options take place depends on the type of market that we're in and the type of financing that the buyer is using. With regards to the type of market, there have been many times in the past several years with the market being as strong as it was, so in favor of sellers, that the sellers would take the viewpoint that forget it. We're not lowering the price because we've got 12 additional offers right here, and one of those buyers is willing to pay the number that we want. So we're sorry, if you can't make up the difference, we're moving on. Now, on the flip side of that, as the market starts to shift, like it is right now, the idea of a negotiated settlement may come into play a little bit more. But as inventory grows and homes take a little bit longer to sell, you're going to see the most common solution in that case is where the sales price just gets amended. It gets reduced to appraised value, assuming that the seller is able to do that. All right, so those are the three basic options, or three basic solutions, I should say, for that scenario. Now, there are things that you can do to mitigate the chance that you end up in that situation to begin with. If you're a seller, make sure that when you meet with your agent to discuss listing the home and what that list price is going to be, you can justify that price. You shouldn't just be pulling a number out of thin air. What is currently available for sale? What are you competing against? How do you compare to those homes? What's currently in escrow? Are there any properties currently under contract that help to justify the price that you're going for? And what has recently sold? What has recently sold that helps justify your price? Now, if you have an exact model match in a very similar location, a very similar view, and it sold for a number, and you're going for a number substantially higher, it's probably not going to work out. Or you're going to have to come up with a compelling reason why. You're going to need to justify that price. Likewise, if you are a buyer and you found a property that you want to make an offer on, you should be sitting down with your agent and not just blanketly writing a contract, but taking a look at the recent sales and the recent activity and comparing it to other homes that you have seen to see if that sales price makes sense. Does that list price make sense? If it doesn't, have your agent call the listing agent and say, hey, my clients love the property. We're seriously considering making an offer. We're struggling with the value. How did you get there? Help me out here. Tell us what your thought process was with the seller to come up with that price, and see what can be worked out in advance. Now, also, once you're under contract, as the seller, I strongly believe that your listing agent should meet the appraiser at the property at the time of the appraisal. Now, as an agent, do we have any influence or control over appraisers? No, and we can't do anything to try and influence them. But appraisers are human. Mistakes are made. They may have missed a sale. There may be some other factor that they didn't see, and you want to be prepared. What we always recommend is take the recent sales that you used to base your price on. Take a couple of pendings to show where the market's trending, as well as a comparable active. Let the appraiser know, how many offers did you receive? Was there a lot of interest? What types of offers came in? What was the financing? Also, make sure that you as the seller provide your agent with a complete list of all of the upgrades that you've done so that that can be provided to the appraiser. List all of those out. Hey, we just did new appliances. Here's what it cost. We did all new flooring. We had additional insulation put in, but they may not know. We have a surround sound system. We have this, whatever it may be. That way, you're giving the appraiser as much information as they need to come up with a fair estimate of value. They're not trying to kill a deal. That's not their intent. They're trying to give a fair, accurate representation of value. And in order to do that, it's important that they're given as much information as they need. Well, hopefully you found this helpful in what those solutions could be. As always, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to us. We're always happy to help. And until next time.